7 o'clock, straight up, Boogie with the Bull, Tuesday Night Live is live on the Dave Glovin profile over here on Facebook and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Both have live chats. You're more than welcome to come and watch us and be in the live chat over there. As I said, Randall Rhodes, the Facebook award-winning genealogist from All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy Services, and on the roads to discover your ancestors. Right? Or close enough?
Very good.
Okay. And some kind of broadcast Sunday night at 7 p.m. It's in the works. We honestly don't heard, and I've heard from a lot of people that are looking forward to it, is flying saucers and outer space.
That is it. That is it.
All of Mars, on the roads to Mars,
Yeah.
whatever you call it. But a lot of people seem to be very interested in.
It is going to be about aliens, UFOs, flying saucers, our alliance with certain alien nations across the galaxy to exchange technology for human beings to use as breeders. So I'm being supplied with some pretty good stuff. So hopefully Sunday I can put something together that makes sense.
And I have to say, I watched most of today's Straight Talk with Jen and Randy, or Randy and Jen, or Jen and Randall, or Jen and Randy, or I don't know, but Randy and Jen.
Jen and Randy.
Today, and they covered a lot of things about one of my favorite governors and presidents, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And a lot of stuff, a lot of old videos that a lot of us probably weren't even alive or even watching politics back then when it happened. Stuff out of the Ronald Reagan Library. So a great place to go look and research President Reagan if you're going to. And let's see, I did say in the comments that I was once as governor, once president, and actually twice as president. I got to shake his hand as he was walking in to give a speech at a college. And then the second time, a friend of mine never let me know at the time that he was working to come in and meet him. And as it was time for the quote unquote shield, there's one in front, two on each side, and one behind, escort the president into the room. And that person came in and said the key word, and they all went and took their position around him and away because I wasn't on the team. And the head detail guy looked at me and said, "Excuse me, but your position is right behind the president, right?"
Oh, shit.
And I said, "I guess so." And we all walked about onto the stage. Then afterwards,
that's pretty cool.
Afterwards, I got to go back and I was talking with President Reagan after the speech, and he said to me, "Did you have fun?" And I said, "Well, I hope I didn't create a scandal," because I started to walk away, figuring it was time for them to walk you up. And he said, "The next time you see your friend Tim, thank him. He's one of the officers." So when I ran into Tim a year or so later,
just so you know, you keep freezing.
I keep freezing. There is something either going on between me and Restream because last night on the American Rebellion kept freezing.
Yeah.
We have a few more things to set up on the laptop. Some drivers could be out of date that we're gonna try to set them up, and maybe it's possible that it's one of them, but it seems to be a problem that is happening with Restream, both when I'm watching broadcasts that are on Restream and I'm doing my own. But we will stay on top of it and let them know. I still think, regardless of what anybody says, it's better than the $25 package on StreamYard anyway, which is now $45. But and the last thing I will say on President Reagan is that it is very sad that after his second term was done and the Alzheimer's was becoming more and more a part of his daily life, Nancy made a promise to Ronnie that no one would ever see him on a bad day, and she kept the press pretty much away from him, although every once in a while they were invited up to the Reagan Ranch when he was on a horse and they could take pictures of him from time to time. But I think what you guys said was true, that if he was alive today and he was watching President Biden, he would not be happy. And as far as Kamala Harris hoping that she could be the next president, I don't think that would happen. Plus, if he was still active, I don't think I think we would have had Republican presidents going beyond Bush Jr. But anyway, what else is there to talk about?
Yeah, hang on. Someone is texting me saying there's something wrong with your title. So let me see what's going on. Hang on a second, okay? Hang on a second. We're going to do something wrong with the title. Oh, let's see.
Well, okay, I see it just says that I'm live, and then it has the whole paragraph that I put in for
Boogie with the Tuesday. Okay, so
I'm seeing it the way it's
Boogie with the Tuesday Night Live. Yeah. Okay, it's grammar. It's in your content. It says,
okay.
Says Boogie with the Tuesday Night Live.
Okay.
No biggie.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Anyways, so this is what I got from so this is what I got from New Studio 6. It's kind of weird. I thought Russia was all one nation under Putin, but apparently there's factions inside Ukraine, outside Russia, because tonight's my office in Russia in the capital of Russia. We're keeping it secret because no one knows we're there. But they're reporting to us that Kremlin forms alliance to supply Putin with manpower for war against Ukraine. So I guess the government, I guess Putin might be more like maybe like a king, and he has like I don't know, a king, but a leader, but he has to be able to perform his duties within the confines of another inner office power. But anyways, it says Russia has formed an alliance to receive weapons and manpower for the war against Ukraine. This alliance poses a new threat not only to Ukraine but also to Western countries. According to the abbreviation CRINK has started circulating among experts. It refers to a strategic aggressive cartel that includes Russia, Iran, and North Korea, and some other resource-rich countries. So apparently Putin is getting some other nations behind him to fight against Ukraine.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, he'd want his allies. He'd want his allies in Eastern Europe to help. Reports coming out of Ukraine are, his fighting forces substantially. I just keep coming back to the same point that, one day and
Is it okay
the
for
only thing
Michael to
that I
show?
wish would happen is that either the Biden administration negotiates a settlement before the Trump administration takes over, or the Trump administration takes over. And as he said, that even while he's president elect, he thinks he could settle it, and it would go away.
Is it okay if Michael joins us?
It's okay if Michael would join us. You can send him the
I
link.
did.
Every time
Okay.
every time I send it to him, and I'll open up so I see if he comes in. Every time I
So
try to
I would have to say then, if Iran, North Korea, and other factions inside Russia are now supplying Putin with more soldiers and more weapons, that we're going to have to do an uptink to Ukraine by doing a similar of sending uh, uh, troops on the ground to Ukraine.
I agree with you. The only problem that I wonder is that our allies say they're not going to send any money into Ukraine, or any war apparatus into Ukraine, because they think it's a losing battle. I mean, I personally agree with Republicans and even Democrats. We're just going to keep pumping money that we don't have into, we can't win as long as Biden is in power. A war that Biden may not want to end until Trump is in power and can put his settlement in. I mean, honestly, I think that if Trump has a settlement and both Ukraine and Russia have agreed to it, then he should just broker the deal. And if it's successful, in 3 weeks, a lot more people are going to vote for it.
Okay, so
we won't be sending money to Ukraine anymore.
So, before Trump left office, or had it stolen, I guess I should say, hey, Gerry, how you doing? Gerry from the American Rebellion joins Dave and Randy with Boogie with a Bow. How you doing? That sound pretty good? I was just saying that before Trump left
I think the mic is off.
Who? Oh.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Randy. Go ahead, Randy.
Thanks for what?
Okay.
Thanks for what? Thanks for what?
I appreciate Dave. I appreciate Dave not leaving me in the green room for 20 minutes, and like I did you last night.
Well, that's fine. Anyways, before Trump had his presidency stolen from him, he did something very unique. He created that Space Force. Okay, now I wouldn't say it's like the Star Trek, how they have their home base and the planet. What do they call themselves? The Federation of Planets. Okay, we're not quite there yet, but the United States has created a very unique space vessel or space ship, if you wish to call it that. Very unique in design. Is capable of flying in space and doing very unique maneuvers. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It almost looks like you remember how the shuttle used to look, that was attached to the rockets and then was separate from the rockets. It looks a lot like that, but more futuristic, almost like Stargate Atlantis had their fighter jets. It's pretty cool. But we're getting there, folks. We're getting into space, and you know what's going to happen? We're going to have an experience like they did when they did the remake of Star Trek, and the entire world was blown up, and only a few million people were left. And we launched that rocket into space in the one who were they the Spock's people. What were they called?
Vulcan.
Yeah, the Vulcans. Yeah, the Vulcans saw our ship flying in space. So are we going to have a similar experience where the aliens in space see us now flying in space? And are they going to come down and walk out, and we're going to offer them whiskey?
That would be very interesting.
That's better than offering them, any woke shit. So they'll probably laugh at us and throw us out of the galaxy.
Yeah, probably. So Dave, we were just talking about North Korea. I see a article that says that there are 10,000 North Koreans fighting in Russia right now.
My concern, as you started to name possible allies, would be that if Iran is Russia, we're going to get involved in a war, and I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound good, because if Iran is backing Russia, it might just get ugly. That's all I can say. It's just going to get ugly. What do you think, Gerry?
Well, here's the problem with a war with Russia. Not only Iran, but China will be involved.
Michael's waiting in the green room.
So I don't know if we can beat all four countries. These are all nuclear countries, powered and everything, or nuclear armed rather countries. I don't know, because I think if that happens, we will see war on our own soil, foreign invaders, all that. We already got them here. I mean, they've let them over the damn border as much as humanly possible. So, you can bet the Russians have come over, the Chinese, obviously. Hell, maybe the Haitians will get involved. I don't know. Before it's over, we won't have any stray cats left. But it's a dour message for the country, and I think this country is something's going to happen where it's going to wake this country up real quick. I don't know what it is, but I feel it coming for some reason. 4 years of this idiot in office with his idiot vice president, who is now wants to be president, and I guess has a shot at it if they cheat enough. Although by day it looks like it's too big to cheat at this point. She's way too much. She just keeps talking is the problem. But something I think very big is going to happen, and bigger than 9/11. I don't know, just something, and it worries me sometimes.
There was a TikTok video posted on Facebook yesterday. A lady, I don't remember her name, who said that she thinks we're right on course for something to happen before the election, that without saying there wouldn't be an election, this kind of sound like it would be postponed indefinitely. I don't know what is in the Constitution, what is allowed for that to happen. But Michael, where do you think we are right now?
Oh, well, that's a catch-22. You guys are really, I think, focusing the best you can on what we have. But I think the scenario is on the catch-22. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. They got to stop Trump. How do they do that? If they get involved in the conflict, that can create a system of narratives. But they got to protect their vote. They got probably 15 million illegals signed as Democrats there. So they're going to try to stop any air to missile defenses and stuff like that, which they would have to if they want to protect or make themselves look like they are in a position where they can run a country and protect the country. But on the other side of it is we've seen that other countries have stopped elections in war times, and it's always been mentioned that that possibility exists here. Um, I haven't talked to anybody in the last year on the legalities of what the wartime elements of laws are. I guess I should have touched base on that, and I never did it enough, and I should have. But I mean, like I said, I think we're all thinking the same kind of thing. One way or another, it's devastating, and like Gerry just happened to mention, bigger than 9/11. Well, look at North Carolina and Tennessee. We've already documented near 6,100 in body bags, and there's still said to be another 6,000 out there missing. And that devastation, when you really look at it, it's unmatchable to 9/11. It's much bigger, it's much greater, and has a greater impact. And not only that, the problems with FEMA, the missing money, and yet FEMA is sitting on money, mind you. They truly are from 2012, from another horrific event where the money wasn't all used up. But mysteriously, they won't tell anybody why they won't use it. It's only $5 million. It's not a lot of money. But the other money that they had, they utilized to spend for what they needed to do to bring FEMA employees in and part-time employees for search and rescue, which we're not even seeing that currently really happening. I mean, I'm seeing better things where people are coming together, and great things happen when people come together. And that's what's going on down there in North Carolina for sure. I see schools and churches. And look, I'm not trying to give support to anybody on anything or use religion here, but they are the ones that are standing out the most, trying to say, hey, look, we're here for you and we're going to care for you. Insulin drops, and then you know how hard it is for insulin, and it's rather expensive. I mean, people were bringing in things, citizens, like citizen journalism, but citizens helping and crisis events in times of this, like this. And America is just wonderful when you really look at what we have. It's all colors, it's all cultures, it's all ethnic backgrounds, it's military, it's retired military, it's doctors, it's everybody. And they're there on the ground doing the best they can. And again, just like 9/11, don't touch. You shouldn't be here. Block them out, stop them. Now we have Antifa or some new element of somebody slashing tires. It's happening at the ports as well. They get their 65% raise to hold everything at ease for now, but did they really? I mean, really? I mean, where are we going with that? Is someone else going to take it over? The same as when we think about when we talk about the facts that $90 million was appropriated towards a mining expedition to start taking place in that exact same spot of this as where this Hurricane Helene or whatever it was called event took place. My mind's blown, guys. I mean, we got a lot going on, and like I tried to tell Dave years ago, there's going to be a time of the 30 days of darkness will come upon us, and I think we're living in them. Not because it's tragic everywhere, but we are seeing tragic everywhere at the same time, and we just got to like band together. I think if anything, we're knocking at the White House door. What we need to do is just kick it open and walk in, and goddamn, I hope November 5th does it.
I agree. Gerry?
My internet is suck. I think everybody's breaking up or frozen. So can you guys hear me? All right. I
I
don't even know.
I can hear you okay. I've had the same problem for about a week now, where broadcasts are freezing. Whether I was on with you last night, and the screen kept buffering. One camera would buffer, then all of a sudden the whole screen would buffer.
Well,
Audio was in and out. I thought it was a restart. Uh, Partly because I'm probably getting in a lot of trouble for saying this. I have felt that the closer it gets to the election, I don't know why, but and I don't know who they are, but you know, they lock us out until after they lock us out until 3 o'clock in the morning, on November 5th, and whoever we thought was going to win didn't win, and I know something's going to happen, and I keep hoping that something that's going to happen is that Trump gets reelected. But
Hey, it's my supper time, and I do not miss my shrimp. So I'm going to go downstairs, and I'll be back.
All right, come back when you can. But I don't know. It's almost so depressing that I don't even like logging on to a lot of sites, social media networks that I did, because it's all depressing. And I everyone knows I don't normally come on a broadcast with a bunch of things ready to set to talk about. We just start talking and we go. But honestly, I said to Donna as I was sitting down and watching the countdown down the time to hit the button, what the hell are we going to talk about? I mean, we do the same thing every night, and the only thing I can hope is that people are listening and people are watching and people are aware that we're just messed up. And I don't know whether or not we can pull ourselves out of it. And everybody wants Donald Trump to be back in the White House, but there's so much, I'm just going to say it this way, Jerry, there's so much crap that has to be done. Is he going to be able to do it?
Well, it's not only that, Dave, and I agree with you, it is depressing, but as far as we need to stick together and we need to do better than we're doing now. And it shouldn't take some either natural or man-made disaster to do it. But it might. But if Donald Trump doesn't win, the thoughts on that is I was guys and they just said we're fucked, period. And they're right. We waited too long. And although we do have one more shot at it, the problem is I don't think he can't fix everything. But the other problem will be is what are the Democrats going to do if they win the House or the Senate or both? And they're going to do a whole bunch of what they did the last time. How is that going to get in the way of his administration? If the Republicans win the House and Senate, are they going to stand with him and get stuff passed into law to where it's not an executive order? I mean, he could sit there all day and write executive orders and fix all kinds of stuff, but is he going to hire the right people this time to run the three-letter agencies, or, I don't know, get rid of a few of them or all of them? Is he going to really leave the UN or tell the UN to get the fuck out or, any of that kind of stuff? I don't know. Last time a whole bunch of stuff came up that he could do, and he decided not to do it for some reason. Now, I try to keep in mind he's the president. He knows more than I do. And I think he thought he was going to win a second term. So maybe he was waiting until his second term. I don't know. But I feel like it's going to take him and us to fix this country. And I think one of the things that needs to happen, and we talked about this a lot last night, as you know, men need to start being men again, and not this whatever the hell that a lot of these kids and guys have become. And I'm not talking about going out and starting a war or ripping people's heads off or stuff, but we've got to stand up and just start saying, no, we're not doing it this way. We're going to do it this way, the right way, and that's final. If that requires you walking out from your job because of a bunch of woke people working there that don't know how to do the job or do it, but then that's what it's going to take. Like we were talking about the cops last night. If it takes going to jail to prove to a cop you can't do this to me anymore, then that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to man the hell up in this country. I mean, the women are already the women. And most of the women that I know are very passionate about it. And some of the best patriots, or whatever you want to call them, patriotic people I know are women. And they fight like pit bulls. And we need to get back to that. Because that will help him in the end. We cannot just sit here and say, he's got this, and then go about being fat and happy. I mean, we've been fat and happy for way too long. And it's time for us to put the children in their place and the adults take over.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. I can get them away from those video games and their cell phones and put work ethic back into their blood.
Excuse me, go ahead, Michael. I had to turn my mic off for a second.
That's okay. I heard the line. That's cool. Oh, so yeah, I feel you. So let me go deep into my mind here for a minute, because I'm not taking notes. I'm trying to go by memory. Gerry's last comment, and I agree with him. And as far as the police, yeah, we all got our stories. We do. I even have one that's graphic. But I know where you guys are coming from. Manning up is important. The mama bears are the strongest. There's no doubt about that. You're positively right, unequivocally. And why is that? When you think about it, because a woman has more guts and doesn't worry about the glory if she gets slapped in the face. She knows when she runs her mouth or speaks her voice that the possibility exists. But maybe at the same time she's feeling, if I say enough, they'll just walk away from me and they'll listen to me. Who knows? But when we look at RFK coming aboard, there's a unified party system going on here. And if Trump is strong, and say we do, on the right, we win Congress and Senate, and we're stronger, then we're going to start to pull from the left. What is good on the left that follows RFK? And that there might stop a lot of don't have to write the executive orders, because we have a unification system, may not be the best one, but at least it's this foundation. He's putting a foundation together where two teams can work together. And I think that's going to actually also take place in the future, 4 years from now. Vance and Kennedy will probably be the target ticket. If he preps them, introduces them, they work close with him, they learn who the other countrymen are, the other leaders of the world, the ones who we can trust, the ones that we can't, he's going to hand something to them prepared so they can handle the future. But getting there, again, that's the other scenario, like you both said. We got to get across that finish line. I feel we're at the door, and I think the more they do, and if anybody says, okay, about the weather, let's just take the conspiracy out of the picture. You're not going to take the thought out of people's mind that the government didn't have something to do with this now. A lot of people made up their mind who were on the other side to now come onto this side. So I think in ways we could sit here and go back and forth and contradict and just try to express ideas that may be of great importance. But, we give what we give while the thoughts are in our minds, and we can share them. And who's ever out there listening, I think they would probably agree with that. So you have two people creating a new party, and one who spoke really loudly when he decided to do this endeavor with Trump and spoke to the world. He just didn't address his own colleagues. He spoke to the world on the corruption that exists within. And I think he has enough backing on the left with what we have, even if there's rhinos, to where we can step into the future in a much stronger way. But again, what's to happen within the next 21 days? We probably need 21 million votes. As Trump said, the most important about the integrity and safety of the election is the mass number of votes. They won't know how to react. They won't know the number they need to beat. We need every man, woman, and
Yeah.
child, brothers. We do.
Yeah, that's why I don't care for the early voting. Well, one of the reasons, the early voting.
Yeah, but didn't that start today, Jer? I
Simply
can swear I got word on it.
I don't know. I don't think it's.
Uh,
I'm not sure about Florida. I don't know. I don't early vote because I don't believe in it. I think everybody should take
Okay.
the time on voting day to go vote. So I don't really pay attention to that. But one of the problems with it is that exactly what he just said was they have a number already and they can do math and do all the mathematicals and all the rest of that and figure out, well, we need this many and how far behind are we now, percentages, all this other crap that I have no idea how to do, by the way. And, then they go to work. I can tell you there's many rumors that the Democrats doing their own polls, which probably are actually true polls, they ain't happy.
No,
They're
they're
not
not.
happy
You're
with
right.
her.
They're not.
She is bottoming out because the polls they give us, I think, are mostly bullshit. I have a hard time believing that Trump isn't so far ahead of her that she there's no way for her to catch up. I think they need to keep it in the polls that they give us close, so that when she cheats it looks like she's winning.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it looks all above board. But the ones that the Democrats or even the Republicans do are the actual ones. And I don't know if no one's ever called me or, you used to see guys or women or whatever outside with the clipboard and they ask you a bunch of questions if you do the poll, whatever. I none of that, that's never happened to me. So I don't know who the hell they're calling. If they're calling anybody, I mean, but I didn't believe in polls the last time. In 2020, I don't believe in them. I didn't believe in them in 16. I don't believe in them now. So,
Do you believe in Do you believe
but
in the outcome was fact? Do you believe in the outcome was factually true in 2020?
no, absolutely not. Not on election night.
All right.
We were doing a show, and about 8:30, myself and about 4 people in the comments, almost at the same time, go, "Something's wrong." Okay, and from
Yeah.
that on, it became very obvious that at the time I didn't realize just how bad it was, and still didn't think they were trying to steal it, but I knew something was up. But then a few days later, you think about it. We watched them steal the 2020 election for 4 years, and nobody put it together in their head or something. At least I didn't. I mean, with the mail voting and all, votes ended up in ditches and garbage cans and dumpsters and everywhere else. Um,
Right.
but it was bad. And then, of course, January 6th happened, and all that got swept under the rug, and that was the main thing in the news. Meanwhile, there were a lot of people, myself included, we were looking into this and that and the other and looking stuff up and this kind of thing and finding out 100,000 people voted that and they only had 50,000 registered voters. So I don't know how that happened. sarcastically, of course. That kind of thing. And I think everybody, if you are denying that the election was stolen, you just don't want your rhetoric to be ruined, and that is incredibly egotistical and, quite frankly, stupid. Sorry, just the way it is. So
Yeah, you're right though. You're right though. And when you look at some of the outcasting of what they did and how they defended themselves, they attacked Mike the Pillar Man. They attacked Bannon's Infowars, Alex Jones. Yeah, and they might have got them on other things, but the point is they were doing it. Rudy Giuliani. I mean, we could go on when Mike Flynn, Stone. They were all in a scenario of if you talk about this, we will get you and take you down. And some did suffer the consequences from it, but they're still there. They're quiet in their own way. Some don't have access to a phone now. But I mean, the bottom line is this: it doesn't mean we stop because we have patriots who stood up for us. And I think again, if people look at some of those systems of what really went down, that was the proof of behind the logic of how they kept the voice from America of getting out. But America learned of it, understood it, and I think that also helped the tables and tides turn in a different direction. Because just because you talk about something means you get imprisoned. I mean, like Trump once said, I believe it was him that said, socialism to communism overnight. And that's exactly what we have.
Yeah. I think they started with Flynn almost immediately. And of all the people in his administration, I like Flynn the best. Mad Dog Mattis was okay, but he just did some shit. Before he was basically, I think he was asked to leave. I don't know. He said he resigned, whatever. But there's something about Flynn or Mattis I did not like, and he's a Marine, and war hero, all that bullshit, but way more than John McCain ever was. However, Flynn got screwed. Luckily, Trump was in office and was able to save him. I think Trump should have done pardoned him way sooner. And then, of course, Rudy Giuliani. And the problem is, it's right out in front of our face, and we have a country that has a bunch of young people in it that don't have a critical thinking skills or something. I don't know. But nobody
I think you said
they can't fit. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I think it was you who said it last night, or maybe it was Daryl. Babies having babies. That generational period of influence to where they actually help it occur.
Yeah, it's Daryl. Yeah.
So when you break that wave down across the board on every age group and element, it's divide. It's argumentative, and as Pelosi says, and Obama said, when you use sophisticated wording, you can corrupt any town square, and then you smear it, and then you advertise it, and then you call your constituents up to push it. That's what they do, because they have the power behind the media and the Mockingbird Project and so forth. And with that, it comes. I mean, look, even Vince McMahon on his wrestling show warned the world by putting out cultural aspects of Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, the New World Order. Hulk Hogan wasn't there for any particular reason to support Trump other than I told you so. They all knew it together.
Yeah.
What was going to happen, and that it was pre-planned.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it blows my mind like it blows your mind.
Yeah, another word for it is brainwashing. In this country, half of it at least is brainwashed. Part of that is it's very easy to brainwash people who don't care and are just out for themselves. And, that is what's happened. And these kids have been brainwashed from day one in school. Obviously, we went to
Mm-hmm.
school. We learned a lot more about not only school type crap, but life in school than these kids are now because they are all so sheltered by both mom and dad. I don't know. When I was a kid, I think there was one camp in the whole damn country for like a summer camp. Your summer camp was like out in the street. You go play with your friends. The period. End of discussion. We ain't spending money on you to go have fun. Okay, but yeah, everything is so sheltered now that it's and everybody is me, 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 me. It becomes very easy for something as strong as the government with the propaganda arm of the mainstream media to brainwash a lot of people, not to mention the school system and everything else. They start teaching kids socialism at a very young age when they have to bring all their school supplies to school for everyone to use because we love everyone. Well, I hate everyone when I'm paying for that shit. I like the ones I'm buying it for, and the rest can go to hell. I mean, if there is a kid in need that bad, and I knew a kid. I'll never forget this kid. He was actually a good kid. His mom was a piece of garbage, and that was his problem. But if he would have needed school supplies, which probably he did, okay, I would have bought them for him. Because that would have been my decision. But the school was in doing this teaches kids socialism. What is yours is everyone's, and sorry. Come try that crap at my house. Come over and tell me that my stuff is yours, and see how that works out for you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
nothing about this system good for anyone.
Right.
Okay, hang on for just 1 second. I'm going to add one person to the. This is Chuck Cook. Well, you see him around Facebook. You see him all.
Hi, everybody.
You see him on our broadcast. I think you see him on Gerry's. The audience too. I'm sure Michael has seen him before. Smart guy. Welcome to the conversation. The audio must keep cracking. Can you hear me, Chuck?
I can hear you, Dave.
Okay. Welcome to the conversation.
I'm on video.
Why don't you speak a little on where we've been going, where we are in the conversation?
Who do you want to pick up on it?
Chuck, what are your thoughts on what we've been talking so far?
Go ahead and keep talking. Just started here.
Okay. All right. Michael.
Okay, thank you. All right, yeah. So, I'm the deep diver here. Everybody knows that, and I really believe there's a lot of influence from that I've been able to follow the trails and the tricks of the make-believe land that these people live within, although they have a lot of factuality behind them that leads to other rabbit holes. But, to keep it on a political narrative, this all started in 1917 on Jekyll Island, where the Trilateral Commission and the UN met in the dark with military protections and started the influence of the 100-year program format. And it took them, give or take, a few years on how everything met.
I think it's intentional. I think it is actually intentional interference, internet interference, and I'm going to apologize.
All right. Let's focus on that for a minute because there's facts to that. There's what they call pinging. Pinging occurs from the main office framework because you remember when I went through that, Dave, and I had the best that I could find come out and try to diversify what the hell was going on with my system, and they found out that there was a virus bug attached to the main framework from within Verizon at the company here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They were able to track it back like a bug, and that's what it was doing. So they can limit how our activity works, And it works like a virus bug, but not a bug, but not a virus. And it's set up to just break up and break down your podcast because they know we're streaming. They know who we all are. They're following, they're tracking us. Every one of us is a TI because we're one of the departments of their enemies that they call the white supremacist group. Although, hey, I've done shows with all cultures. I think everybody's had mixed cultures on their shows, but that's still the label, the deplorables. Some will look at it that way too. So we did find out that there was something, but they couldn't figure out what it was, and they weren't allowed to go into the main frame. But because the guy was trying to analyze the system, the analog of the system, he's like, it's back on your side. Ping us. Well, the ping wouldn't come through. And they went and they said, there's something really strange here that's dividing the line of stream through the cable line because, well, you can call it a cable, but it's not still anymore. It's the, fiber optic. And what they do is they put like a cap on it where it meets, and it blocks the signals from activating. So it's coming through. It's translucent. It reads it, but it reads it in static. So maybe that's what you're going through. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But I know for me, once I found out on it, and then I had a couple of my young grandsons who I was shocked that they knew so much. They cleaned me up. They wiped me out. And the only thing I ever did on my system was shows. I said, what do you got to clean out? He goes, oh, they overloaded the junk into your system. And when you go to bed, they get your thumbprint. They just overload it so they can track the whole system. And they cleaned it all out. And it's been working like a dream. It really has. So I don't know. But I mean, I'm doing different shows too. So maybe they're not picking on me quite as much because if I do title American Crisis, I do feel an element, or I go directly to bottom feeders, which means anywhere the show goes, it gets corrupted. Somehow something happens. Now that I'm on Oracle Radio Talk Network, I'm doing radio live streaming. It goes through there, feeds back to StreamYard, and now I have positivity again on how I'm landing everywhere. So, they have these technologies, and they're far more sophisticated than I'm ever going to understand. But we fight the system, right? Every day you come on, it's disheartening. But, even if something goes wrong, we're relentless. We show up. And that's the warriors behind who we all are in America in ways. No matter what we all did, no matter who brings what to the table, we are all working hard to get across that doorway back into the White House. And, I hope there's a White House to walk back into. But again, really, it's just an obstacle of the structure. We don't need it to run a country. We need a good person to run a country. And there's going to be a lot of damage control to do. And it's going to take a lot of willpower, good men. And I hope, Gerry, this might be something that you could register in your mindset. I hope, because Trump now is like really fighting in Pennsylvania hard because Kamala Harris took up a residency here. She truly did. And I think it's going to come down to Pennsylvania. They are battling here. She's here one day. Her husband's here another day. Vance is here another day. Walz is here another day. Trump's here another day. It's been back and forth in PA. But I would hope also that we can somehow reach out to the administration and allow a citizen review board to work with them. Not that we monitor them, but to make sure that all actions and everything presented becomes lawful to help the American citizens with tax reliefs, bigger than what they're talking about because we deserve them. We're all seniors here. And if we wanted to sell our house, even if it's the only house and it falls in the exclusion where you can sell it once and not pay taxes, but it might not fall on everybody that way. This economy's trapped and killed a lot of people and their wallets, that they do something on capital gain savings for people, because some people wait to 67 to sell their home and want to move to the Virgin Islands, and they get slammed for doing it. And then 2 years later, if they die, their family gets slammed for inheritance taxes. It's that, cradle to grave system. But I hope things like that get narrated in, Social Security gets tightened up, and some of the punishments come down the our way that are deservingly to be served upon people. As Trump said, it got questioned. Prosecution is not bad if it's for the proper reason of law. And when you talk with common sense and use the two C's that they talk about, and that's what they use. I call them the two C's, Vance and Trump C's, and it's all about like wake up, America, wake up, everybody, wake up, world. Look at what really is on the plate here in front of us all.
I agree. And I really like that citizen review thing. The only thing I would say about that is it has to be regular working class people on it. And I'm not
Agreed.
talking about the upper middle class. I'm talking about either the poor, okay, which is fine, and in the lower middle class, because there's ones that are hurt the most with everything. You can't have a bunch of rich guys sitting on a citizen review board that just want to get on TV every day. It doesn't work. You want real change and common sense change. You need people down at the bottom of the food chain that know what it's like, because I think these people up in Washington know exactly what it's like. I don't think any of them are that stupid. I think they just get away with crap because we continuously are watching them on TV, clicking on the articles, doing all this stuff. If we would just stop reading the mainstream media, stop watching it, they would change. Okay, they would have no choice or
Yeah.
they would be gone. But I think I actually really like that, and I think they should be a government entity that is, you know, monitoring what everyone is doing, as far as bills and policy and everything else. Because I have to tell you, um, from what I'm seeing now, there's a lot of groups out there that do that, but none of them have any power is the problem. I mean, you look at the
Yeah.
Senate and the House. They can hold somebody in contempt and can't do anything about it when nobody gets in trouble. You know,
Yeah.
whoever's the president, like in this case, it's supposedly Biden. Who the hell knows? I don't think he's been president since day one, but um, his DOJ is not going to prosecute Mayorkas, and no matter what that guy does to the
Gary,
country. So go ahead, Dave.
Agreed.
It's fine.
I was just going to say, I've never understood the House holding someone in contempt, because can the House penalize a citizen, or does the House have to turn it over to the Justice Department? And it goes, or the House Judiciary Committee, which is Jim Jordan.
No,
and then it
goes to the
Department of Justice, or what?
goes to the Department of Justice, and if like Biden's in office, so his Department of Justice is not going to prosecute anybody.
Right.
Just like when Obama would Holder. Holder was actually held in contempt, an attorney general. And you think he's going to prosecute himself, or Obama was ever going to prosecute him? No, of course not. So it's all bullshit. It's all a big game. It's all about campaigning. It's all about raising money on everybody's misery. It's all about that. And the more money you raise, and that's another thing, the more money you raise, the better shot you got of winning. I've yet to read a political article where the amount of money they've raised is not brought up, and there's no reason that you, me, Chuck, or Michael Anthony could not run for office on the internet and for the price of your monthly internet without having to have millions and millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars for a job that barely pays 200 grand a year in the house. Okay.
Right.
But there's a reason it costs that much money, because when you go in with $5 like AOC does, within a few years you're worth 11, 12, 15 million dollars. Okay. How does that happen? Gee, I wonder. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, Martha Stewart could probably give you a little, security advice on that part.
You know how it happens. And miraculously, with all the politicians and everybody else on the Diddy list, we haven't heard that AOC's on that list. got to figure AOC was down there with him all the time.
So was Harris. She was rubbing elbows with all of them, and
there were pictures of Harris, but from what I saw, Facebook didn't take them down if you posted them, but they insisted that it was false news and Photoshop pictures. But then again, when Facebook insists crap like that, it's generally true anyway.
There was actually TV video footage of her with Montel Williams. And here's another thing. I'll tell you, she was in so close to where she wanted to go and who she wanted to be with. There were secrets that she actually shared with Montel that got back to Sylvia Brown, and Sylvia Brown put them in her book, and she called COVID 2020. It was right in her book. So this was all a pre-planned manipulation from long ago, and a lot of people walk away from it. I mean, look, Governor Tom Ridge in Pennsylvania, he got appointed by Bush to Homeland Security. Me and Randy were talking about this earlier today. The minute he found out what the 2030 agenda was, the way into the future, but they didn't call it a new way forward. They called it the new morning rising of the new sun, and that sun is Luciferian. But it's true. So they put him up there, and he didn't. The minute he found out, and what he found out, and because when you're at the top of that food chain, information rolls to you. It comes from CIA. It comes from DOJ. You really do have the biggest push of the pencil control, besides the vice president and president. So he hightailed out of there. He didn't want nothing to do with when he started to hear about the climate, the weather, I mean, really, all these things were in these documents. This guy lives 15 minutes from me, and he was friends to friends with a lot of people. And many of them from the political aspect of it. So what the hell did you just get up and leave? Because you just got there. He says, I left because I'm not them.
Yeah.
I can't be a part of their future. And he says, I can't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And he said, please don't ask me no more. And that was the way he commented on it. And he was local to people and families and children. And the best thing he could do for himself was to rebuke them and leave.
But what is so weird with me about this is as an outside citizen broadcaster looking in on this, it looks to me nothing more than with Diddy, the Democrats are pulling a Hillary Clinton on themselves. It's like they're exposing all of these big name Democrats. So the Facebook news feed, who got accused, now it's almost like they're their own voters enough that they're just going to say, hey, enough of this crap, I'm going to vote for Trump.
Well, yeah, and that's why Harris came out with one of her little messages.
I can understand infighting within reason because every family has it. I mean, we had 5 kids. We fought against each other all the time, but turn the other one in all the time to win points with our parents. But to me, this is absolutely ridiculous. There you go. Okay. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's like I could understand if it was the Democrats saying we discovered we can name this person, we can name that person, we can name that person. But this is like Democrats turning in Democrats.
Well, it feels that way. But all right, go back to the Hollywood madam, Heidi Fleiss. Go back to the Hollywood manager, the one that Oprah brought all the little white girls to.
Yep.
Go back to the island people. All right. And what you're seeing now is a disclosure of the severeness of what was going on behind closed doors, the setups, the drug parties, Club 11. You're going to hear a lot about Club 11 and Mr. Big Mike, Mr. Michael. Hi, Mr. Michael. Anyway, no, I'm being honest with you. You're going to hear about this in the very, very near coming future.
I'm never going to call you Mr. Michael again because
No, but I'm not referring to me.
I'll never do
Yeah,
that again.
I'm not referring to me. Club
You're
11 is
I know.
it's one of the hottest social places for
Yeah,
everybody who's anybody, and it all comes down to what's in the punch bowl, and so forth. And they manipulated people. They were doing the same thing. And you know what? I could take this back into a place nobody wants to know about, but I can tell you Epstein has a very close tie to Israel, and that's where the same type of things with Grizzly, whatever her name was, that was doing
Griswold.
this, yeah, Grizz, whatever.
yeah.
To me, she's
Matter,
scum of the
matter
earth.
facts with it. Matter
Oh, yeah.
facts with it.
It was about catch and release them doing something so we control them. Every narrative of everything, and that's why even Harris made the comment because she makes these comments, but they're all reaching an intellect.
Okay.
They're all reaching some type of um, somebody, people, college students, exactly, of like little messages, exactly. That's what they're doing. And then she says it's hard to be a role model. She was telling everybody start the run. It's hard to be a role model. Take down your sites, take down your pages. The shit's gonna hit the fan, and that's because London Bridge has started to fall,
It
as
has.
when we seen the Queen of Windsor fall. Pedophilia, young people, Vatican, churches. It's not just one system of Hollywood. It's all through everything. It's infested, and
Oh, yeah.
that is the true narrative of the spike protein that we're fighting back with. Now, who caused it? That ball to start to roll is really hard to say, but the ball started to roll, and there are very good legal teams working on every aspect, and they don't even care if you were at a party, had nothing to do with it, but didn't help. You're as guilty as the one being charged. And let me tell you, there is over 7,000 warrants getting ready to go out to bring every one of them in and charge them, even in abetting. If they stood there, abetted it, and it did nothing for anybody because they were putting on sexual activity shows with certain Hollywood people they wanted to control, and the Justin Bieber thing's all true, the Eminem thing's all true, the Britney Spears thing's all true. I mean, they're all true,
Yeah.
factual things. Make them look like an idiot, take their money, let their parents hold them, and that poor girl cut her hair because she didn't want no one to touch her anymore.
Yeah.
She didn't want to. She didn't want to have that stage presence that they created for her, that sexuality of a child to come into adulthood that was selling millions and millions of albums. But we can go into Hollywood movies. We can go into anything. The Rock, all those people.
They're,
Run as far as you can from them when you see them. These are not idols. These are sickness. This is sickness.
they're now alleging that Taylor Swift was either at parties or was, for lack of putting it better, a victim of parties. But I don't really know. There seems to be there might have been something going on with her and Diddy.
J Lo. What about the fatal the face, the shot to the face with J Lo and Diddy years ago? I
Yeah.
had posts up about that. That was when you knew they had protection, when they walked away from that.
Yep.
Is, I ask this all the time. Anytime Epstein's name comes up, does anybody believe that he is alive and just living somewhere in a really nice cell Airbnb place where he can't leave, but he's there, and the only thing that changed is it's not his empire anymore. He's operating it for the Biden administration,
McAfee is with Epstein.
and Epstein is still alive.
McAfee is with Epstein.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They're both still alive.
Yeah. Well, what they say. Mark Epstein, his brother, said that all the paperwork and everything he has been able to get access to on it is that his body was rolled out with a sheet covered over it, and that might indicate that he's still alive, because normally when a prisoner dies in jail, they take you out in a body bag. So
Well, it was the same exact story. What you just said is the same exact story when they did the press release, and I believe it was under Bush, when they said they finally caught the villain of 9/11 and they took him to sea and gave him a burial, which wasn't even a burial. Okay, these people, and look, I got pictures of these people together partying with Obama, Rice. I mean, I have them. I'll send them. Any one of you right now want them, and you want to see what I'm talking about? I have pictures with them together. They are not photoshopped. They have been checked. We know somewhere that these people are all congregating and they're all part of the system. In some cases on one side of the system, in some cases on another side of the system, turning state evidence of what's to come.
Oh, the liberals are their heads are gonna explode. It's coming, and it's coming soon. Go ahead.
What do you think?
I freaking hope you're right. That's all I'm saying. I want to see anybody of consequence in handcuffs. Anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't want to see some third-rate Department of Justice lawyer in handcuffs who gets 30 days in jail for some ridiculous shit. I want to see actual politicians, elites, whoever they may be, in handcuffs saying, have a nice day. I will get out popcorn and a grape soda, and I'll be very happy. I will be, because I don't drink anymore. I probably won't be that happy, but nevertheless, I'm sick of these damn hearings. I'm sick of these investigations where they share all the crimes, and no one goes to jail.
Nope.
Spend millions of dollars on it, and no one goes to jail. And then the ones that they do try to put on trial, like Trump, are bullshit. They're not even crimes, or he don't know what crime he's actually being accused of throughout the entire trial, and then he gets fined like $750 billion or something. Yeah, it's enough. We need people to go to jail, because it's the only thing that's going to stop this before a war has to, and a war is going to be way harder.
Yeah. Well, I think if I may interject here, I feel like sometimes I'm interrupted, and I apologize. In fighting this war, and in many ways, and people being called into Senate and Congress to answer questions like Fauci and so many others, they find out that they were all willing to express a little bit more, which made the cases much larger than what the cases were about. And because of that, some of these things had to be pushed off, pushed away, not tucked away, but prepared while other actions were being taken. And we do know when they tell you that somebody's retiring, or a corporate person from another and we're talking about many of them have done this, it's because the fingers were pointing directly at the souls responsible for many actions of different crimes on humanity and different disruptions in America, and takedowns of companies and corporations, and basically the takedown of America itself with the false labelization of a disease that never actually existed, that no one could contain, and still nobody can goddamn prove. So when they started to get all this, it grew into a snowball coming down the hill that grew into they just keep growing. and so they tried to stop the implosion by putting things in better legal, within better legal persons with abilities. And I know there's an immense amount of stormage coming that way. But again, it'll never get here if we don't win. As Trump said, and as many of us say, we got to do it now, or there is no tomorrow. The new way forward will be theirs, and we're going to have to bow to these sons of bitches. I mean, truthfully, in Pittsburgh here alone, I'm seeing changes. Now they can come in and take a home if it's empty and put people in it and make an agreement with the owner as to what they will be paid. They want to raise our taxes in Pennsylvania on homes in Allegheny County, 46.5%. Yet they want to tell us how much we can charge for rent. that we need to become a different type of world. And now, even in Pennsylvania, if you Google it, it comes up Sanctuary Pittsburgh. Look around the world and see how many sanctuaries there really are. We think we're stronger in on the Republican end. The truth is, they got sanctuary setups everywhere, including in Florida where the hurricane just went through. And you got people out there who say, I'm the sheriff in town. Well, the only one I'm going to trust at this point, because of what he has been able to reveal to the world, is Trump. When he said there'll be a new sheriff, I trust that. I don't trust what DeSantis says. He's had too many interesting phone calls with too many people that gave him money for his election running, and with Joe Biden, who promised to help in any way he could, and he's failing down there. They can't even get rid of the materials laying over the streets because they're not allowed to accept them at any of the landfills. So you clean up your home from your roof being torn off and make plans to put on a new roof, and you take it to the landfill, and they say, we don't accept it here. And that's going on. Check out the videos on that, where people and businesses are coming forth saying they won't let us dump. We're cleaning it up, but we got nowhere to dump it. So now they're looking for someone to give them land to put it on, knowing if anybody does it, they're going to be fined out the ass for, going against a commercial zoning problem because they're putting trash somewhere they shouldn't. So there is always a divide inside these commonalities of everything that works that says one side can say this, the other side can say that. And the truth of the matter is, it's just a made-up scenario for an argument to occur that gets nowhere.
Right on target. Yep.
Randy, you've been quiet. I'm sorry, Chuck. Randy, you've been quiet for a bit.
Oh, brother Randy's back from the shrimp buffet.
Randy's back from all Tuesday night. All you can eat shrimp at the Rhodes.
The Rhodes Inn, yeah.
There you go. No, I've just been taking it all in. Again, hey Chuck, I don't think I've ever seen you before. How's it going?
Well, it's going good. Good topics tonight. Glad I was able to take care of my audio problems. I had it loaded up on Facebook on a different browser, on a different tab here on my computer on the laptop, and I was getting a delay of two different voices, and that really messed me up. But I figured it out, and I'm here. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for your patience.
Can I see your hat?
So all the problems we've been having tonight.
Can I see your hat?
No, Chuck's a good guy. Chuck watches Randy and I.
Oh, okay. It's backwards. What does it say? It's backwards.
It's backwards, Chuck. Read it.
Oh, Madeira Beach, Florida.
Beach, Florida.
Okay.
That's where we go down on vacation usually in January and February.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like a military hat that you served or whatever. I need to be careful what I say.
Yes, you do.
So, because Chuck, I don't know if you know, I do genealogy, and I had a site called All Roads Lead Home Genealogy, and on the roads discovering ancestors. And someone made a false report about me to Facebook, and I lost it all. So I'm recreating myself again. So I gotta be careful what I say or who I friend. But it's pretty sad when someone does something that damn well is against the law. Okay. There's no gray area. There's no iffies off, nothing. That person committed a crime. But because of who that person is, what that person's connections are to other people, or what that person's political leanings is, they get away with it, or they get their hands slapped. But others who are conservative, Republicans, or Christians, they get false accusations against them, or they try to do something and they get accused of doing something else, and they have to sell everything they have to afford attorneys that are are strong enough to go against that which the left can throw against them. And in many cases, these people go broke. They wind up in jail for a period of time for something they did not do. Point in case, all the J6ers.
Yep.
But until we're able to flip the corruption of the political party, we're stuck with it. We were going to have to be more aware of what we do, where we go, what we say, what we write, what we read, what we repost. Otherwise, like myself, you can be falsely accused of something and you have no way, no recourse to fight it other than to start over again. And that's a shame because our founding fathers did not create this world, this nation, to be this way. They fought it. They fought a war to create a nation where the government is for the people and by the people, and they are to protect the people, not attack them. And that's not what we wound up with, and that's a shame.
Right.
It is. It's not going the way it should be going right now. Don't know what to do, but I hope everybody goes. And
Yeah,
votes
but
for
whose
Trump.
fault is that? Whose fault is that?
It's
That's
our-
our fault.
It
Okay,
is our
because
fault,
we've
Gerry.
allowed it to get to this point instead of we could have stopped it at any time in the last 150 years. We didn't do it.
And we should have.
And now we're trying to do it and have been for what 10, 12 years now or more, and because we waited so long, it is hard,
Yeah.
especially for
Yeah,
the people
you're right.
that can actually, affect the change. I mean, we can sit here and scream to the rafters every time we get on here. And it is something to, like Chuck is for, I guess, the first time on screen and everything. That takes a certain amount of balls to do that. When your first time, after that, it's very easy and it really doesn't take anything out of you. But plus, then you give everybody a chance to hate your ass. But in the end, uh, we waited too long. It's like they say in, like I went to AA to quit drinking, all right? So it's a long time ago. But they say, you can get off the elevator at any floor. You don't have to just keep going all the way to the bottom. Me, being the rocket scientist I got to the bottom, went through the floor, and ended up in like 14 dash sub basements, the third portal of hell. But
No, you wound up
you don't
in
have
ladies' lingerie. Admit to it.
yeah.
Come
Well,
on, admit to
maybe
it.
I don't know.
Right
But
now, you
we
hit
don't
right
have.
now,
We,
you're on Facebook.
what's his name said. Franklin said we gave you a republic if you can keep it. Now, I would hope that if we do manage to fix it up, save the republic, that we make sure that we never get to this point again. But I suspect all the heartache and the pain of the people fighting now, it's like World War II. Will never happen again. We'll never forget, and we've forgotten. 9/11, we'll never forget, and it's kind of forgotten, except on one day a year.
Well,
We
at least
can't
I can
forget.
say religiously, I've always done a show every year because you're right, we don't do enough. But at least in that moment when people were listening, we could remind them of the evil, the toxicity that we live amongst in our own government. And as we keep going forward every year, Jer, I mean, there's just more proof. There's just more
Yeah.
proof. There's more people. They're allowed to be heard. The suppression isn't the same way that it was. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to interject for a quick second.
Yeah, it's just we don't have to go all the way to the bottom. We can, you can recognize things. The thing is eventually, like me and who are, us older guys, we're going to die off. So it is
Hey,
very
I'm not
important
dying.
that we teach our children or grandchildren the correct way of doing things and morals and all that crap. And you know what else? Teach them who's in charge. You know, when they're children, the parents are in charge. When they're older, they are in charge, and we are in charge of the government, which is a something we lost a very long time ago, long before anybody here was born, I think. And we have not gotten it back because once you give the government the enough power, they are not going to give it back to you. They have to be forced into it. And I hope that we can do this at least without gunfire. It's not going to be peaceful, but at least without gunfire. I hope. We will see.
Yeah. Well.
There are
Yeah.
a certain
Yeah.
amount of hope.
Yeah.
We can do that. You I've heard it tonight. What's been said by different people here, Michael, for instance. I have heard a hopeful, rhetoric to not rhetoric, but a hopeful statements that we can do that because, folks, I'm here. You don't want a war on our soil. You just don't.
Nope.
No. Right. And
You
one
just
of the
don't.
things that I fear, and one of the things that I fear that nobody's talking enough about is they won this country without firing a shot on us because their technology's that good. And there used to be statements that were made that why aren't we reacting? Why aren't we? Because they're too sophisticated. They don't even have to be miles near us in order to have an end result that is in their favor. So the worst thing we could do is to react without thinking. We need somebody in place that has and can monitor the control. And if he would ever say, ladies and gentlemen, this is your president and I need you now, then you're marching to the same tune of the same drum with him down that path. But if we were to make a fatal mistake in error and judgment, remember everything that we've been through, the 3,300 things that they did in 4 years that put us down, took places out of business with ever firing a shot, and now saying, hey, we'll give you $750 to help you out. But by the way, Joe Biden this morning released $2.4 billion to Ukraine. But you got to remember, that's how they wash money. Ukraine's used as, you know, as a toy mechanism, so to speak. He'll get that money. He'll take a little chunk for himself and for his constituents, and then he's going to send so much back. So much back is going to come to fund an election. So much money is going to come back to fund somebody's little gravy train because they're owed some money. So much is going to come back because Soros sees a new objective and a new narrative, like buy up radio stations of debts. And this is how that system works. That's how they keep it fed. The trillions have kept them fed throughout this idiot, idiocracy, if that's a good word, valid word to use, of how they stay so powerful and in control because the dollar, even though it doesn't add up to a dollar, still helps them. And one of the other things, as you said, Gerry, that makes a lot of sense in this long game that they played throughout these theatrics is the fact that a penny was a penny. Then the penny became two. Then the penny became a nickel. Then it was a dime. Then it was a quarter. Then it was a $50. And when you do things like that, it's like passing a law. And like you said, they figure it out. They put the things in place. The government will never give us our country back. We'll have to forcefully take it, or it will have to be handled through somebody that is willing to support the actual humanitarian values of what built this country. But that's how it works. So taxation increases, uh, permits, and everything else that contradicts and licensing that contradicts our way of life. What do we ever not need to do because we have to ask for permission to do it? And people say this is a free country. Up yours. We lost our freedom so long ago. I just agree with you. That's why I'm saying this.
Well, I'm
I,
hoping that,
I've been
that we
asking
do
this
take.
question for years. Tell me one thing you can do in a day, your average every day. Hey, Daryl, how you doing?
Good, man. How
That
you?
if some government or another in this country is not involved in telling you what you can and cannot do. I've yet to get an answer, and that's because the answer is there's nothing. That's the only answer. That is not freedom. That is not liberty. That is nothing. We need to take our liberty
No,
back. The way I take my liberty back is on my property. I do what the hell I want. Anybody don't like it can either leave or I guess we'll have a standoff or something. You'll probably see me on the 6 o'clock news at some point. I don't know. But, either way, you're going to,
I can have you on
we're
six
going to
o'clock
have
radio.
to say, yeah, no more.
I've
We
got to
have
face
to,
the radio.
here's the problem with this whole freaking country. Nobody says the word no anymore and means it, except the government.
Yeah.
We need to say, no, we're not
I don't
doing
think
this shit anymore and mean it, period. And be able to take the consequences for that. Because there's always a chance you get hurt in that. But that's what it takes. And that's what it's called, manning up. I know a lot of women that would have no problem doing that and have. There are some men, a lot of them actually. We just don't see them because the soy boys and so forth. They kind of overshadow everything in the press. But I mean, I'm watching YouTube the other day and watching this guy talking about a face cream that all guys should use. And I'm like, I grew up. John Wayne don't use no fucking face cream, even though he did probably. Okay, but no. Okay, and I'm not using no damn face cream, and that's why I look the way I do now. But nevertheless, um, it's just a bad look. Men are not men anymore, and we need to be able to stand up and say no. We're not doing that. That's stupid. It's time for the adults to take over and let the children, discipline them first, ground them for I don't know, 20 to life, and then move on.
Yeah.
I
Did
agree.
you
I don't
did you
agree.
know that if we was to go on a universal income for every man, woman, and child that is above the age of 18, at the universal income being $200,000 a piece per year, did you know that that would still be less than our military budget for an entire year? It equals about $40 billion a year.
Wow.
And that we, I was listening to, I think it was Joe Rogan. He's probably one of the most ethical talkers. He's a bullshit artist sometimes, but he's probably one of the most ethical speakers. He has some of the most different genres and different types of people, and you get to hear everybody's opinion, and everybody's, I don't know whether it's worth listening to or not. I guess you have to listen to it, but they were actually talking about that. If a man just go work, and then didn't worry about what he got paid at that job. He just did his job and did it to the best of his ability, and depended on that universal income of $200,000 a year. It would still be less on our economy than everybody trying to fight and be on welfare. And that's
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, but it's the same narrative that I brought up a long time ago. When they started the mandate, putting people out of work for not accepting the mandate, if we'd all just said no at that point right there, as Jerry said, and all of us stood together, we could have shut down America, and they would have been blindsided. They wouldn't have known what to do because all of America would have been inoperable on every local state. It doesn't matter. Everywhere it would have happened. And they would have had to come to some type of conclusion to make something work better and proceed with better caution. And the only reason why we are where we are is because Trump stepped back in and started to re-support us and took on again this new way for us to get to a different new beginning of America to make it great again. And by him doing that, they lost their focus on what a lot more than 50% of what they were planning on delivering at us.
The problem is that Americans as a whole have lost their balls and will to fight ever since. I think the last time we had the balls to stand up and fight was, I don't know, was it 1772, 73, 74, 76?
Waterloo.
That's when we had the ability to fight. The War of 1812, and maybe a couple after that, World War I, World War II. But as far as ourselves, to stand up for ourselves, our own liberties, not that of France or an England or a European nation that was being attacked by Germany, but we lost the will and desire to defend ourselves because I've said this before. I'm probably going to get busted. I'm going to say it anyways.
Just misspell it. Just misspell it, and we'll be okay.
Those on the left have no problems calling out to those who support them, saying it's like you're saying earlier when Trump says it's time to follow him, we all follow him. The left doesn't have that problem. The Democrats say go out and burn down a city. They go out and they burn down a city. They have no problems doing that. But the people on the right don't have the balls to say, hey, time to stand up, follow me, let's go into the fray, and let's fight to get our rights back. We lost that ability.
I don't think it's necessarily the people on the right. I just don't think there's enough of the people on the right that has the balls to stand up. I'm going to tell you right now, if they call me, they put the call in, I'll go wherever the hell I got to go, bro. I don't give a damn what time of the morning, what time of the evening, what time of night. I don't give a shit if I got to get woke up and I'm half-ass sick. I don't give a shit if I'm drunk. I don't care if I'm puking in my potato salad. I am on my fucking way, baby. And we're going to get this, pardon my French, sorry about cussing on your show, man. I don't know how you deal with it. I'm just saying, that's bullcrap. I can go from the F word to crap, though, right? So, anyway,
You can say whatever you want. I'm going to go on Facebook because I got Randy Rhodes on the broadcast tonight.
Sorry, Randy. I didn't mean to get you kicked off Facebook again.
Yeah, that'll happen. I'm sure.
But, that's funny, though, because I don't know if you saying anything that I've not ever said. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you ever being as harsh as anything I've ever said.
Daryl, I don't know what it is. When I do my Sunday broadcast, and that's not the music. When I do my Sunday broadcast, I use different videos like about the Civil War or something like that. Little House on the Prairie, thing like that. This guy in Pakistan seems to own every damn thing that's on YouTube. Either that or he just hates me. Because every time I use a video, it doesn't matter what it is, the next day I got the violations.
Maybe it's both. But realistically, the guys out of the country who claim that they have copyright in the United States are just bluffing anyway.
Yeah. And, maybe you should find out who the Pakistani is. And,
I did. He's on Facebook, okay?
Violate his ass.
Yeah,
tell him he stole your tube of caulking out of your freaking house you're building on 2nd Street or something. I mean, tell him something. There's no way I'm going to let a raghead get away with that bullshit. Period. Ever. End of. Point. Done. Finished. Not going to happen, bro. I'm not going to let you do it. As a matter of fact, I've got 50 towels in there. I'll wrap my head too if I need to. And we'll just go out on Main Street and wrap each other's heads up.
On behalf of the American Rebellion, Dave, I'm very sorry you've been thrown off of Facebook forever. And however, you are welcome on our show at any time. I'll send you a link, and maybe you can get us kicked off. I don't know, it'd be fine.
Well, you know, Facebook needs to learn the difference between bullshit and bullshitters. And the very minute they do that, the very minute they'll start doing a lot better with the people they have on their platform.
That's just it. The people on the left don't know how to have a conversation, don't know how to laugh. We had two ladies come to our house the other day, and my wife got the door, and they're there for the female running for office, and she told them we're Trump supporters here, and I started to walk away, and I said, no. I'm running down the steps, right? I said, hey, wait, whoa, hold on. Hey, what are you guys here for? Oh, we're just here. And they got these, Hillary t-shirts on. And I said, well, we are Trump supporters. We did vote for Trump. You don't want to have a conversation as to why we're voting for Trump and not for the other person? No. We don't want to get a conversation. No, we're just, and they walked away. They don't know how to talk and have a conversation without the ability to yell at us and spit in our face.
Yeah. Well, that's all they know how to do. I mean, it's been that way since high school.
Yeah, the people that
Liberal arts programs, colleges.
Right. The Democrats that knock on your door are programs. They've got a speech that they have to get out. And you can't stop them while they're talking because you blow their mind and you confuse them. It's the same thing to get them on the phone, which is why they don't call Republicans, because I would stop them every other word and go, but, and I'd blow their mind and they'd lose their place in the script and not be able to do the call. But,
as I said last night, before I relinquish my rights, I'll take an ass whooping by a midget on Main Street. I know.
Pictures or it didn't happen.
On behalf of all the short people in the audience, we don't want to offend you.
No, all the midgets out there, I love you, baby. I love you.
You apologize for what we do on a Boogie with the bullshitters.
I can just see it now. Going down the street to Daryl's house. We are.
Yeah, be like the Wizard of Oz.
I love midgets.
Oh, yeah.
I've thrown them before in a contest, and so I enjoy midgets.
Jerry would probably want us to broadcast it live on the American
Midget toss. Hell yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, that's what they call it, midget tossing. Yeah,
we are so bad. We are so bad.
That guy got paid a lot of freaking money to get thrown down on a bunch of pads down at the end of the little alley thing there. So I don't know. I think that the the midgets were probably killing each other long before we got here. So don't worry about it.
As long as you don't see the flying monkeys, we're all in good shape.
Let me ask you this: there was supposed to be a controversy over did someone actually hang themselves on the Wizard of Oz set?
Yes. Actually, I don't know the whole particulars. I'll let Daryl talk about it.
No. I don't know the whole particulars. I know I've heard the story. I used to have a best friend when I was a young guy that knew the story 100%. But he was an actor. He did the drama class and all that bullshit, and reenacted the Wizard of Oz. So he had to know everything about it. And that was, somebody offed himself on the set. It was, but there was supposed to be like even in the movie Carrie, there was like bad aura, like black magic and bad juju and all that.
Good, the bad, and the ugly too, because one of the guys in that, he was an Italian guy, played one of the extra bad guys, and he was actually in a lot of movies. I don't know what his name is. I can picture his face because I've watched that movie like 12 times, but he jumped out a window of the hotel they were staying in and Clint Eastwood actually saw him go past his window, on his way to the road. And so, yeah.
Oh, is it one of those roads that all lead to home?
Yeah, the roads was filmed in an episode of All Roads Lead to the Valley.
Randy just went and get some paper to write this shit down for a script.
Man, he wasn't even here for it.
Yeah, all right.
Hey,
Thanks.
listen,
I
guys.
gotta get going. I appreciate
Yeah,
it,
me too.
everybody.
Me too.
Chuck, nice meeting you. Good to see you again, Michael. Daryl,
All right, thank you.
if you survive this, we'll see you tomorrow night. And,
Yeah.
hopefully Dave
I
won't be
just want to
crying
thank
that he lost his
everybody.
show. I don't know. Take care, guys.
I just
Yeah,
want to
no, I'm
thank
fine.
everybody for their patience, and it was great. It's different, seeing everybody on the computer here, and seeing myself going. If I agree with something, I'm gonna nod my head. I don't want to interrupt anybody, but thank you for the invite, and I appreciate it, and hopefully we can do this again. Thank
More
you.
than welcome.
Nice to meet you, Chuck.
Good to meet you, Chuck.
Anytime you want. Except if you invite me, my wife will testify to the affirmative that I usually will yell louder than you if you try to interrupt me. But normally, if anyone stops talking, then it's open time for anyone else to start talking.
Okay, sounds good. You guys all have a good night. Stay safe, and I will not comply.
Always a pleasure.
Right on. Good to meet you, Chuck.
All right,
Thank
Blessings, brother.
Good night.
all right, Chuck. Michael Anthony.
Oh, we're leaving.
Well, here, yeah, you're talking about the Wizard of Oz, and I've always wondered, Daryl, was that the first introduction to A&I technology when they all walk into the castle, the magic castle, and they're faced with this kind of like machine, this new technology of where this little man from behind, I mean, to me, that's what it reminds me of, the new age of everything, how it was built to reflect, to come out slowly and surely. And, to me, I look at, oh, wow, it's not just about the one that hung himself. This is a little bit more to
Right.
this. The guy
Well,
doesn't have a heart, body parts. I mean, when you really think about it, the reflection of it, it's just crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like,
yeah, the movie industry, everything has already been written in the stars. It just hasn't been read yet. And here's the thing: how all that works. The government is in control of everything you watch on television. Period. There's no you and I in control of our channel button. When we change the channel, we're watching predictive programming, no matter what we're watching, unless it's you and I talking screen to screen. So everything, like you said, the AI, the computer programs, everything has already been written. It just hasn't came out yet. All of the technology has already been released. It just hasn't been invented yet. And that might not make a whole lot of sense to someone that doesn't really know the history of our country. But if you want, okay, there's like 3 movies on Netflix. If you go look at the movie that Barack Obama produced, what's that one? Oh crap, where the Teslas are driving. Frig. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Julia Roberts was in the movie.
yeah, I watched it actually. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Oh wow, yeah. But anyway, Barack Obama co-produced that, and the guy that told the story about when he was writing that movie, he said, "Hey, look, when he was telling me some of the shit that I was writing down, he said it blew my mind. He said I didn't know whether to shit or go blind. I was scared to death. He was like, is this something that's happening? Is this something that's going to happen? Is this something that could happen? What is this?" And I guess Barack just said, "Write the damn movie." Barack was president, so
it's our future.
This is our future. We'll either have to deal with it, or we'll have to, well, it's just like your show, Anthony. I've watched a few of your shows. And I don't think people realize how much the UFOlogy intertwines with the AI technology.
Oh,
Um,
it's up there.
it's up there,
Hmm.
and a lot of people's like, "Ah, bull crap. That's not real." Hey, well, look, maybe all the things I've seen. Well, I've seen two different things in my life that I was just like totally jaw dropped to the ground. I had no damn clue. One of them was while I was live on the show one night. Went outside to take my dogs to take a crap out in the yard, and stepped out, and I was like, "Where's my phone when I need it?" It was a triangle shape,
Yep.
sitting right over my house, humming, and it had an octagon light right in the center of the triangle. But it just went, and it was gone. That quick.
I've seen that. I've seen that shit too. Yeah. Yep.
Like, what the hell is going on here?
And then
And
yesterday morning, I was out having a smoke and just happened to be looking up, and I don't know. Everybody's watched Star Trek. You see cloaking. It's supposed to be invisible, but it was just blurry, and that son of a bitch was going across the sky like crazy. No sonic boom, no sound.
Yep.
And it's like I took a second look, and I said, "Yep, that's the second time in my life I've seen that shit." We are more far advanced than what they're letting us know.
Oh, wait more.
Exactly. It's probably a privatized military that has been developed from the other side of the elites, and maybe even some of the families. And like when we hear some of the stories about them shutting down our nuclear sites and our nuclear abilities and so forth, it's probably them just making sure that we don't have something that they don't know about because they can't see everything and they want to uh, have further durabilities better than ours in case of a time where we are no longer compliant at all and our military takes our side, and they will then show what the true abilities are, and they will confuse everybody by saying it was the ETs, but it's not the ETs. It's what information we got from the ETs that we reverse engineered and plus added to. And if you think about this, I mean, as the story goes from a famous Admiral Byrd, he witnessed a craft come out of the water and basically used directional energy against the ship and cut it in half. They don't talk about the fact that it cut it in half, but it did happen. So when was that? 50 years ago. So where are they now? And they are probably on this planet and maybe working with a different technology from a different type of people. So, just I think, a lot's going to come out, but it's not going to come out like tomorrow. Disclosure, everybody's demanding it all across the board. I try to support it. I mean, UFOs is not the only thing I talk about. It's not my main characteristic of reference, but I have met a lot of fascinating people that really do deep dive into it, and it's fun. It's sad, but it's fun, and it gives us awareness of something. It keeps our minds open with possibilities because when we have these possibilities working in our mindset, then the information comes in, we process it, and then our consciousness rises. It rises with awareness. It rises with knowledge. So those types of reasons why I do it. But I mean, yeah. So hey, look, all I can say is thanks to anybody that listens. I appreciate you catching some shows. Did Bigfoot the other night? That went pretty successful. Had a lot of viewerships on it, and again, there's another one of those catch 22s where we have more questions and answers. But I did do some postings today in America Disclosing, putting out that the Nimitz wasn't the only reveal that the U.S. Navy gave us. They also gave us another one that was called the Pyramid, not a triangle, a pyramid UFO. We're working with a lot of advancements that we just don't comprehend or understand, but our own military does.
Wasn't there a pyramid ship on Stargate Atlantis that was one that landed in Egypt and was supposed to be the first one to?
There, that the three pyramids in Egypt were actually spaceships that landed. I don't know if they could ever leave again, but that's how they got here, and that's where they landed. We got to start wrapping it up, guys, because I promised I would be done by 9:00 because the studio has to turn back into a bedroom. So
it has to transform.
Cinderella at the ball.
We got in trouble for using the word transformer yesterday. So, so Chuck, say goodnight. Any comments that you have before you go?
Yeah, no.
We're all good here, and like I said, it just that thing yesterday, and I looked up, and I mean, it was like a glimmering thing across the sky, but it was. I wouldn't even hate to guess how many feet up it was or whatever, but that son of a bitch was moving like crazy. And like I said, there's no sonic boom, no nothing, and it is what it is. So everybody have a good night. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. You're welcome back anytime.
Yeah, right. Man, I appreciate the invite.
You finally came on. You're number 11 again. You're going to get me thrown off because you know that I know Randy Rhodes.
Better late than never. Yep.
Hey, that's all.
You're welcome anytime, Daryl.
Yeah, man. Yep, I'm going to get off here. I'll see y'all tomorrow night on American Rebellion Show at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. God bless and good luck.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Randy Rhodes, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. You and I.
Yeah, if I don't get banned overnight,
more entertaining. I hope.
If I don't get banned overnight, I'll probably get up tomorrow morning and say,
well, if they show up at your door, tell them you know me.
Yeah, that'd make it worse. That would drag my ass out, kicking and screaming.
You off of Facebook? They got to.
I'll make sure to tell them that. Okay.
All right, Randy.
Okay. So this is Randy from All Roads Freedom Genealogy. I have 2 slots on my calendar left open. Please, if you want to find out about your family, I'm the guy to do it. I'm like $4 an hour as opposed to $45 an hour.
That's
there are reasons for that, but I do a phenomenal job in finding your family. So All Roads Freedom Genealogy. Yes. Take care, guys.
All right.
I am going to click the button where I can find it. Bump. See ya.
All right, Randy Rhodes, All Roads Reach You Home Genealogy Services. Let's see, Straight Talk with Randy and Jen, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern here on Facebook. And let's see, he is on Monday and Wednesday morning caffeine with me at 10 a.m. Eastern here on Facebook and the channel. He joins us Tuesday and Thursday evenings for Tuesday night and Thursday night live, 7 p.m. Eastern here on Facebook and on Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And we're messing around with what the third destination may be. Haven't decided if it's going to be Rumble. Haven't decided if it's going to be Wimbledon. It might very well be EETLOC, streetlock.com. Go over there and take a look. A very well-run, conservative, patriot-friendly social media network. You've heard me talk about them for years and say if anything ever happened with Boogie with the Bull on Facebook, we would land on Streetlock. So Streetlock may very well become a destination. STREETLOC.com, streetlock.com. Go over there and take a look around and join. You may see our broadcast over there. Very, very, very good. Thank you for coming on. Gerry Michaels, thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure with you. We'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on the American Rebellion here on Facebook. Watch it on the American Rebellion blogger page. Invite your friends to come over and watch it as well. And let's see, Ronald Farrell, thank you for coming in near the end, but you're always welcome. Tina Scott, I saw you there, and David Novar, computer technician, was in there. Craig Peterson, our favorite doctor. I want to say psychiatrist. One day it'll be fun maybe to have the Petersons on a broadcast. Maybe. You saw it tonight. Brought Chuck in, so it made sense to bring him in. So if you're another one that watches all the time, ask for the link and come on into the conversation. And if you like it, you're more than welcome to be a part. Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, about 35 seconds late, I promised my wife at 9 o'clock this would be a bedroom because my wife has to work tomorrow, and I don't. That's the fun about being retired and playing on Facebook all day long. Anyway, thank you for watching. Double B for Victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast.